enhance the agricultural production in the country. But away from that, we have the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bills number 19 of the year 2025 coming up for consideration this morning. This is a bill by the Chairperson Departmental Committee on Finance and the National Planning. And the indications are that the debate has already been concluded upon. The National Assembly was debating the Finance Bill 2025 for the better part of last evening or last afternoon. And what remains is for the question to be put. We wait to see how that turns out this morning. On your screens, you can see the mace carried by the Sergeant-at-Arms, closely followed by the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gladys Boss, who will be presiding over the business of the National Assembly this morning. So kindly allow me to hand you over for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing and have yourself a great morning.
Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the important performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sergeant-at-Arms, kindly ring the bell for 10 minutes.
Well, the business of the National Assembly has officially commenced this morning with the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly presiding over the business this morning. But the House can not yet commence with the consideration of the business before it, as the House lacks the requisite quorum to commence business. And so we have the directive to have the Sergeant-at-Arms ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes. For members of the National Assembly who are yet to make their way into the chambers this morning to do exactly that, for the House to raise the numbers to consider the business. Before I handed you over, I was just informing you that the House will be voting on the Finance Bill 2025, this being National Assembly Bills number 19 of the year 2025. It is a bill by the Finance Committee, and in the presentation during last evening business of the National Assembly, we had the chair of the Finance Committee, Honorable Kure Kimani, moving the bill for consideration that presided the debate at the National Assembly. And among the submissions he was making before members is that his committee has carefully considered the bill and proposed some measures to seal the loopholes, to enhance matters compliance and the reduction of cases where there is avoidance of payment of taxes. And remember, the Finance Bill 2025 is a bill that brings up the aspect of revenue raising measures for the national government, that is through KRA, to raise funds for the budget of the country for the financial year 2025-2026, being a budget that doesn't propose introduction of new taxes, but rather the sealing of loopholes and ensuring that all Kenyans who are able or who are in a position to file taxes. In the bill by the Finance Committee, it is a bill that is seeking to have all Kenyans file taxes, whether they are positive or nil returns. And according to the Finance Committee, this will seal loopholes via which a section of business persons or Kenyans have been evading the payment of taxes. So that is a bill that is coming up for voting for the better part of this morning, being a business that had the House consider the procedural motion to exempt that it be considered as a normal day, or usually on Wednesday morning, we usually don't have any other agenda other than the business sponsored by individual members of the National Assembly. But a procedural motion will be moved this morning and the House will be voting to consider the finance bill, among other agendas sponsored by the leader of the majority and the minority, as well as the committee. The consideration of nominees for appointment to the National Police Service Commission is also a matter coming up before the National Assembly this morning, where the House will be voting on the appointment of Ms. Peris Muthoni Kimani and Mr. Benjamin Juma Imai, as well as Professor Coletta Suda, who, upon the approval by the House, they'll be officially appointed to serve as members of the National Police Service Commission during business of the National Assembly. Yesterday, members of the National Assembly called upon the three members to implement reforms in the police service to ensure that there are no police excesses. And with all indications from the chamber is that the House has raised business.
You may stop the bell. First order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Honorable members, allow me to amend the order paper so that I can go to, we'll jump papers for now. We jump papers, Majority Leader, and then we go straight to order number 8 and order number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. No, not 12. Not 12. We'll just go up to order number 11. Yes. Okay. You can read the orders. Did we say we skip papers first? Let's skip papers first. So we are starting with order number 8. So if you sit down, we'll come back to you. Okay.
Order number 8, procedural motion, exemption of business from the provisions of Standing Order 43.
Honorable members. Oh, yes. I thought I was putting the question. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, thank you for that indulgence to allow us to change the order a little bit. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as order number 11, number 10, 11, and 12 in today's paper from the provisions of Standing Order 43 being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Honorable Speaker, like you're aware, Wednesday mornings are meant for business by private members. But because of the urgency of the matters, Honorable Speaker, we want to ride on order, Standing Order 40, so that we can exempt, Honorable Speaker, and have the finance bill and consideration of the nominees on appointment to the National Police Service and the County Public Finance Laws Bill, Honorable Speaker, that we consider them now, Honorable Speaker, so that we can beat the time frame as given in the Public Finance Act to ensure that we enact these laws within the framework of the budget timelines, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, having said that, I want to urge members to support this procedural motion. It's a simple, straightforward procedural motion, and request the Honorable Papa Osoro, no, the Honorable Osoro, Silvanas Osoro, to actually second. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for clarity, my name is Osoro, not Papa Osoro, as the Honorable my Deputy Majority Leader has alluded to. But, Honorable Speaker, the purpose of seeking the exemption of business from the provision of Standing Order number 43, as the movers clearly stated, is to try and dispense of all, this business, the government business, and set aside the business that is meant for the private members. Honorable Speaker, looking at the calendar of this House, we are set to proceed for recess next week on 27th. And this House also received the Minister or the CS for Finance, who of course gave us the estimates sometimes last week. And it's important that even as we come to the closure of this financial year, getting now to the next financial year, that we push this business that is stated in order number 10, and that is the finance bill, and also the special motion that we discussed yesterday, and of course the county public finance laws, because we are getting into the new financial year. So, Honorable Speaker, with that, I beg to second.
Honorable members, I propose the question that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as orders number 10, 11, and 12 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order number 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Thank you, honorable members. I now put the question that this House resolve to exempt the business as orders numbers 10, 11, and 12 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by the committee. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order. Before the next order, allow me to recognize a school that is seated in the public gallery. The school is Logorate Comprehensive School from Samburu West Constituency, Samburu County. Next order.
Order number 9, the Agriculture and Livestock Extension Service Bill, Senate Bill number 12 of 2022, second reading, question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Agriculture and Livestock Extension Services Bill, Senate Bill number 12 of 2022, be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for agricultural and livestock extension services, establish the agricultural and extension services and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 10, the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2025, second reading, question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2025, be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the laws relating to various taxes and duties for matters incidental thereto.
Next order.
Order number 11, special motion, consideration of nominees for appointment to the National Police Service Commission. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report on the approval of the hearing of nominees for appointment as members of the National Police Service Commission, laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 12 June 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 246(2) and 252 of the Constitution, and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, approves the appointment of the following nominees as members of the National Police Service Commission. 1, Ms. Peris Mudhoni Kimani. 2, Mr. Benjamin Juma Imai. And 3, Professor Colette A. Suda. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I think you'll allow us now to go back to order number 5. Thank you for your indulgence.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader, Honorable Lowen Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, June 18, 2025, morning sitting. 1, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the years ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein in respect of the following technical and vocational college. A, Msambweni. B, Kibwezi West. C, Mulango. D, Machakos Town. E, Kitui East. And F, Yata. 2, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein in respect of the following secondary schools. A, St. Alfonsa Kisau Girls, Makueni. B, Kitondo, Makueni. C, Baricho Boys. D, Kabare Girls. E, Shimba Hills. And F, Muha Boys, Makueni. 3, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein in respect of the following technical training institute. A, Wote. B, Machakos Technical Institute for Blind. And C, Katine. 4, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein in respect of A, Malindi Integrated Social Health Development Program Phase 2, MISHDP 2, Coastal Development Authority. B, Horn Africa Groundwater for Resilience Project IDA, credit number 7082KE, project ID P174867, State Department for Water and Sanitation. C, Nambale Mjini Mayenje Water Project Grant / credit number 08W/Busia/97. D, Rwambura Irrigation Development Project number 1109118900, National Irrigation Authority. E, Multimedia University of Kenya. And F, Mamangina University College. 5, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2023 and the certificates therein in respect of A, Kenya Primary Education Equity in Learning Program, IDA grant number D991KE and credit number 7067KE and grants NOS TFC 306KE and TFC 307KE, State Department for Basic Education, and B, Hybrid Generation of off-grid power system credit number CKE 1066011 Kenya Power and Lighting Company PLC. 6, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the Sekuru National Polytechnic year ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I lay.
Thank you. Next order, order number 6.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable, order number 6, there was a notice of motion by Honorable Gikaria. Or is that? Sorry? Oh, I'm told it's by Gonzi Rai. Is he available for your? You're ready for your notice of motion? Okay, just hold on. So we agree that Honorable Gikaria, you are on the order paper to give a notice of motions. We skip that on number 6. Okay, so let's move to number 7, which is statements. Honorable Member for Kinango, Honorable Gonzirai, you may proceed.
Madam Speaker, I rise to request for a statement regarding the safety of a Kenyan in Saudi Arabia. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44(2)(c), I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the safety of Ms. Riziki Luvuno Mambo, holder of passport number AK 1325501, who went missing in Saudi Arabia in March 2024. Honorable Speaker, Ms. Riziki Luvuno Mambo has been residing in Saudi Arabia since July 2023 when she moved there for employment. However, her family, with whom she maintained regular communication, claims to have lost contact with her on 12th of March 2024, raising concerns about her safety and whereabouts. Following her lack of communication, the family received reports on 23rd of April 2024 that she had been arrested and was being held at Jeddah Sawari police station in Saudi Arabia. It is alleged that she was found in a state of distress, wandering the streets, and appeared to be suffering from mental health condition. Efforts by the family to secure her repatriation to Kenya have been unsuccessful. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense Intelligence and Foreign Affairs on the following. The circumstances surrounding the arrest of Ms. Riziki Luvuno Mambo by the Saudi Arabian police. 2, steps that the relevant government agencies have taken to ascertain the whereabouts and secure our expatriation, release from custody, expedition release from custody, and repatriate to Kenya for proper physical and mental care. And C, the measures that the government has taken to guarantee the safety of all Kenyans living and working abroad to ensure that they receive timely government assistance as cases of distress. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Defense and Foreign Relations. Is there a member of that committee in the House to give an undertaking on behalf of the committee? Okay, Majority Leader, can you give the undertaking on their behalf?
We here the Vice Chair is here. Yeah. The Honorable Captain Major Bashir is here. He can do an undertaking.
Give him the mic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have listened to the request for a statement, and I would like to inform the member that we'll be able to have a response to the question in 2 weeks' time, including also all others that he has mentioned, including distress calls from the people in diaspora. 2 weeks' time will be appropriate.
Okay, thank you. Next order.
Order number 12, the County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 39 of 2023, second reading.
Mover. Who's the mover of the bill? Okay, this bill, the mover is the chairperson of the Finance Committee, but he doesn't seem to be here, and I don't think there's any member of the Finance Committee. I'm told they were having a meeting. So I think we can skip order number 12, stand it down and bring it back at a later time today. So let's move to order number 13. Order number 13.
Order number 13, motion, consideration of Senate amendments to the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022.
The mover of this bill, is that the chairperson, Transport and Infrastructure? Majority Leader, who's the
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oh, it's Honorable Gikaria.
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the Senate amendment to the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022, be now considered. Honorable Speaker, I had brought this to effectively operationalize the 30% under the procurement for the special groups, that is the women, youth, and people with disability. And Honorable Speaker, in that amendment, I had proposed that we exempt class 8, 7, and 6, but we had agreed with the committee that we only exempt class 8 only. But when we went to the Senate has since rejected our proposal of 8 and returned it to where I had proposed to 6, 7, and 8. But, Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with the committee that we just exempt only class 8 and just up to class 8 and nothing more, and that is only for startup, so that we can be able to help our youth, women, and people with disability to be able to venture into business, to give an opportunity for us. So in my view, I would want to agree with the committee and reject the Senate proposal. And I ask Honorable Ruto to second.
We do that. May I have a seconder? It's the seconder, the Honorable Ruto. Member for cases, please proceed.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Through to what the proposer said, Madam Speaker, the essence of providing this particular intervention is to encourage young members of the country, that is the youth, the special group of women, and people living with disability, to participate in such business entities and to grow the economy. And therefore, I stand to support the rejection of the proposals of Senate, and we only approve the removal of Class 8 under NCA, so that we encourage the new people and we don't misuse the other conditionalities that have been provided by NCA, because we've seen other people who are qualified, who are able, can misuse those particular provisions. Thank you so much. I support the proposal of rejection.
First, I now propose the question, which is that the Senate Amendment Bill to the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022 be now considered. May I go ahead and put the question? Yes. I now put the question that the Senate Amendment to the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022 be now considered. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as our contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it. So, honorable members, well, honorable members, the fact that the nays have it means that in order number 14, the Committee of the Whole House will not consider the consideration to the Senate Amendment to the National Construction Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022. Thank you, honorable members.
Honorable Speaker, there is a growing trend in this House, Honorable Speaker, that if really not attempt, it will mess the integrity of this House. Honorable Speaker, when the Speaker is on her feet, nobody should be seen walking and moving around, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Wamboka, Honorable Speaker, is out of order. He's been walking around picking water, Honorable Speaker, or something.
I apologize, Honorable Speaker. I'm sincerely sorry, and that will not happen again.
Honorable members, let us proceed. I did not notice that the Honorable Amboka was moving around, but Honorable, if that happened, let it not happen any other time. Next order.
Order number 14, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, I would like to call the meeting to order. We are in the Committee of the Whole House, and we are considering the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of our contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
The Honorable Rueda, I can see you are in the house. Please get settled. The member for Lamu, please settle down. The honorable members, please take your seats. Honorable members, the only person I will not address is the Deputy Speaker. The rest of the members, please take your seats. Except the Deputy Speaker. I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. There be no amendment. I now put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover. The Honorable Rueda Obo, member for
Lamu East.
Lamu East.
Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba kutoa hoja kwamba kamati ya bunge iliripoti kwa bunge la kitaifa kushughulikia kwa mswada wa hifadhi na usimamizi wa wanyamapori marekebisho mswada wa bunge la kitaifa nambari 3 wa mwaka 2023 na kuridhiwa kwake bila marekebisho. Asante Bi Speaker.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rueda. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2023, and its consideration without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Chairperson to report to the House.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report to the Committee of... Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2023, and its approval without amendments.
The mover to move agreement with the report. The mover to move agreement with the report.
Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba kutoa hoja kwamba bunge hili likubaliane na kamati ya bunge zima kuhusu ripoti hiyo. Pia namuomba Mheshimiwa Owen Baya au aunge kuafiki hoja ya kukubaliwa kwa ripoti ya kamati ya bunge zima. Asante Bwana Spika.
Honorable Owen Baya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, just a minute. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker kwa kunipatia nafasi kuunga hoja ya makubaliano na bunge kuhusu mswada huu. Na niseme hivi kwamba huu mswada ni mswada muhimu sana. Na nataka kumpongeza Mheshimiwa Rueda kwa kujali watu wake wa Lamu na watu wa Pwani, kwamba hawa wanyama ambao leo tunawaweka katika ratiba ya wale ambao wakiumiza watu watalipwa ni viumbe ambavyo viko katika bahari, na hivi viumbe Bwana Spika, huwa vinaumiza watu wa Lamu sana. Manake watu wa Lamu wengi wao wanapata chakula chao cha kila siku kupitia ile bahari ya Hindi, na kwa sababu hiyo basi Mheshimiwa Roida, nataka niseme kwamba umefanya jambo zuri sana. Watu wa Lamu na watu wa Pwani watakukumbuka maisha yao yote kwa hii kazi nzuri umewafanyia, ili hata hao wapate fidia, wafidiwe wakipata hasara ndani ya bahari. Asante Bwana Spika, na naunga mkono makubaliano na hoja hii ambayo Mheshimiwa Roida amepitisha. Asante sana.
Yes, Honorable Rachel Nyamai. No. In terms of procedure, Honorable Rachel, the question has to be proposed first. Honorable members, I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable Rachel Nyamai.
Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kuchukua fursa hii pia mimi niweze kumpa kongole Mheshimiwa wa Lamu East ambaye ni Mheshimiwa Rueda Obo. Alifanya kazi nyingi sana, na kwa kawaida Mheshimiwa Rueda huwa anajali sana watu wake wa Lamu, na sana mambo ambayo yanahusu bahari, mambo ambayo yanahusu umbali kutoka hapa Nairobi. Tumemsikiza akiwa hapa bungeni vile anapenda kuhakikisha kwamba watu wake wanapatiwa fidia sana kwa mambo ambayo yanahusu bahari. Na ningependa pia kupongeza Mheshimiwa Honor Owenbaya, na pia nimwambie nimeona Kiswahili kimeanza kumshinda. Sijui ni kwa sababu gani. Kwa sababu analemewa ni kukaa sana na Mheshimiwa Eshongwa, Mheshimiwa Whip Osoro, na Mheshimiwa wa Marsabit, Mheshimiwa wako, wanamuongelesha kizungu mingi mpaka siku hizi ameanza kusahau Kiswahili. Kwa hivyo ningependa kuwapongeza wote wawili, lakini niambie Mheshimiwa Rueda ajaribu aketi sana na Mheshimiwa Baya amfundishe Kiswahili.
Mheshimiwa Rachel Nyamai, ungependa kufahamishwa jambo na Mheshimiwa Osoro?
Ningependa nifahamishwe na Mheshimiwa Osoro. Na anifahamishe kwa Kiswahili.
Fahamisha kwa Kiswahili.
Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kufahamisha Mheshimiwa Rachel kwamba hatusemi kwamba lugha ya Kimombo, usema kwamba Kiingereza mingi. Unasema Kiingereza kingi. Pili, tunasema kwamba sio Kiswahili kimemshinda. Unasema kwamba Kiswahili, lugha ya Kiswahili imemlemea. Kwa hivyo matamshi katika ngeli ni vema kwamba ni vema unapozungumza katika lugha ya Kiswahili uelewe kwamba kuna ngeli, pia kuna muktadha wa kufuata kidogo, ndio kidogo uweze kuelewa Kiswahili vile inafaa.
Mheshimiwa Rachel, umefahamishwa, ulikuwa umemaliza au unaendelea?
Ningependa tu kufunga.
Sababu hata mie
ningependa kushukuru sana Mheshimiwa Osoro, lakini pia ni vizuri ajue kuna misamiati ya Kiswahili ambayo anafaa aielewe vizuri. Kwa hivyo tunapopongeza Mheshimiwa wa Lamu, tunafaa tupange maneno kama vile ambavyo anaipanga na vile ambavyo inapangwa na Mheshimiwa wa Mombasa ambaye anaporomosa Kiswahili vizuri sana. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Mheshimiwa Osoro, uko kwa hoja ya nidhamu au ufahamisho? Abu kwa wakati huu lazima mjue wajumbe waheshimiwa kwamba mmepoteza Spika.
Niko katika hoja ya kufahamisha bado.
Spika haelewi msamiati, ngeli na hayo mambo mnaongea.
Kweli kabisa Spika, nikiendelea kufahamisha Mheshimiwa Rachel nimweleze kwamba hata katika lugha ya Kiswahili kuna pia unasahihi mtu, kisha baadaye kama haupendi kusikiza ama kidogo uko na maoni tofauti kwa yale ambayo amesema, unakanusha. Kwa hivyo kwa mfano unaposema kwamba mama alinikimbiza katika lugha ya Kiswahili, wengine husema kwamba mama hakunikimbiza, lakini hicho sio Kiswahili sanifu. Unapokanusha usema kwamba mama alinikimbiza. Kwa hivyo ukijibu unasema asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Ya, yule ni Mheshimiwa Sietenei au Mheshimiwa yupi? Mheshimiwa Watarbo, ungependa pia kunena kwa lugha ya Kiswahili?
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Nataka kufahamisha Bwana Osoro, Mheshimiwa Osoro, ya kwamba ameongea Kiswahili mufti sanifu, sio Kiswahili mufti. Aweze kuongea kwa Kiswahili mufti ndio tujue anaweza kuporomosha Kiswahili vyema. Asante Bwana Spika.
Bwana Osoro ameongea ile Kiswahili tunasemanga imebuniwa upande wa Nyanza. Ako na tabrija kuu ukimlinganisha na mie Speaker. Allow me now to... You want to contribute? Okay. Bwana Gikaria, utatamka pia?
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa kweli ni shukuru Mheshimiwa Ruaida Mohamed kwa hoja hili ambapo alileta hapa katika bungeni ya kuweza kuwajali watu ya sehemu ya upande wa Mombasa mahali kuna bahari na pengine watu wanapoteza ama wanapata injuries kutokana na wanyama wale wako ndani, majeruhi kwa ile vitu inapatikana. Niseme kwa kweli ni kitu cha muhimu kuangalia, kwa sababu kuna wakati mimi nilijaribu kuleta mswada kule kwangu, watu wengi kwangu wanapata madhara ama wanajeruhiwa mpaka maafa inatokana kutokana na nyani, na nilijaribu kuweka nyani wawekwe kama wanyama wa porini ambaye kutapatikana compensation, lakini haikuwezekana. Lakini fidia, asante Bwana Osoro. So niseme tu kwa kweli nimshukuru sana Mheshimiwa Ruaida kwa hiyo nafasi, na pengine hata sisi in future kwa sababu kwa siku zijazo tuangaliliwe kwa sababu ya hawa wanyama ambaye ni nyani ambaye wanalete madhara sana katika miji mikuu mahali kuna poli, especially kama kule kwangu kuna hiyo National Park ya Nakuru ambaye watu wengi wanaathirika kwa sababu ya huyu mnyama anaitwa nyani. Kwa hivyo niseme once again kwa mara nyingine Mheshimiwa Ruaida, pongezi sana kwa msaada huu ambao umeleta. Asante.
Yeah, honorable members, I now put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover of the bill to move...
Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba kutoa hoja kwamba mswada wa hifadhi na usimamizi wa wanyamapori marekebisho, mswada wa Bunge la Kitaifa nambari 3 wa mwaka 2023 sasa usome mara ya 3. Pia naomba Mheshimiwa Owen Baya kuafiki hoja hii. Bwana Spika, nataka nichukue nafasi hii niwashukuru wabunge wenzangu kwa kuungana pamoja kupitisha huu mswada. Pia nishukuru uongozi wa bunge kwa kuhakikisha kwamba leo tumefika hii stage. Hili ni jambo kubwa sana kwetu kwa sababu madhara mengi tuliyaona wakati tulipokwenda kule, kamati ilipokwenda Faza. Watu walikuwa wamekatwa miguu. Hivi sasa ni kuambia lazima kwa mwezi lazima at least mtu mmoja, angalau mtu mmoja atakuwa amepigwa na huu mnyama anaitwa yeda, kwa kizungu stingray. Pia kuna watu wengi wameathiriwa, itasaidia watalii. Hata si watu wetu peke yetu. Kuna mtalii alienda kupiga picha na akakatwa na papa. Pale feri pia watu wengi wanaathirika na papa kwa sababu meli zikija zinapita na mapapa. Bahati mbaya pengine mtu ameingia chini ya feri kutengeneza, anakatwa na papa na hawapati malipo. Hii itasaidia hata hawa wabunge. Saa nyingine wanaenda kujivinjari, wakifika Mombasa, wakienda na zile boat. Bahati mbaya waanguke kwa maji au sema unataka kuogelea, kuna saa nyingine hatari inaweza tokea, pia wao itakuwa imewasaidia. Bwana Spika, sitaki kuchukua muda mwingi zaidi, lakini nashukuru sana. Hata nimeshikwa na shaki. Najua kwangu hili ni jambo kubwa sana. Watu wangu nao watajihisi kwamba ni Wakenya, Coast wote kwa jumla watajihisi kama ni Wakenya na wao hawatengwi kwa sheria. Manake sheria mwanzo ilikuwa imeangalia tu watu kwa ardhi, watu wa maji, sisi ambao tunaringizwa na maji ilikuwa hatuonekani. Nashukuru bunge hili sasa imefanya kwamba watu wanakaa kwa visiwa vya bahari au wanakaa kama mazingira ya maji na wao wamewekwa kwa rada ya serikali. Manake mara nyingi walikuwa wameona wametengwa. Hii itafanya tuweze kuhifadhi zaidi wanyama wetu wa pori. Asante Bwana Spika. Sije nikalia, asante.
Mheshimiwa Owen Baya.
Asante sana Bwana Spika, na hakiki mswada huu na afiki mswada huu kwamba usomwe kwa mara ya 3, na pia niseme kwamba kama vile wabunge wenzangu wanavyosema na vile Mheshimiwa Roida amesema, huu ni mswada mzuri sana, mswada ambao utasaidia watu wa pwani. Kilifi ni kati ya zile kaunti ambazo ziko na ufuo wa bahari mrefu sana, na bahari iko pale na watu kazi yao wengi ni maneno ya ubaharia, na mswada huu umekuja kwa wakati wake, kwamba ni wakati sasa watu ambao kwa muda mrefu walikuwa wamesahaulika katika maneno ya kufidiwa katika zile ajali zinafanyika ndani ya bahari, sasa pia wamepata nafasi. Kwa hiyo mimi ile nataka kuomba bunge hili, nataka kuomba uongozi wa bunge, mswada huu upeleke kwa haraka sana, uwekwe sahihi na rais ama assent, ili usikae. Nimeona miswada mingine tumepitisha hapa imekaa haijapelekwa for assent, na mimi nataka niwaombe sana, huu mswada ambao Mheshimiwa Roida ameufanyia kazi sana na ameweka kazi zake sana na amepatia matumaini watu wa Lamu na watu wa pwani, kwamba ufikishwe kwa haraka sana kwa rais, uwekwe sahihi, ili wale ambao wanaumia kwa sababu maneno ambayo imefanyika wapate fidia kwa haraka sana. Mimi nataka kuunga mkono. Asante sana.
Honorable Charles Nguna Ngusia.
Asante sana Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii.
Charles Nguna Ngusia, just take back your seat. I have not proposed the question for debate. Honorable members, I propose the question that the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2023, be now read a third time. Yeah, so now you can contribute, Honorable Charles Nguna Ngusia.
Asante sana Bwana Spika. Nilikuwa nimeharakisha sana kuchangia mswada huu, lakini nimepata ya kwamba umekamilika. Kwa sasa mimi nataka kuongeza sauti yangu kwa hii niunge mkono kabisa, na nataka kuuliza itiwe sahihi haraka iwezekanavyo. Na kama Spika ilivyo desturi yetu, nataka kuomba tafadhali upe dada yangu Recho Kaki, kuna kitu alikuwa anataka kuongezea hii mswada. Asante sana.
Honorable Charles Nguna Ngusia, I have not seen any request from Honorable Rachel Nyamai to either contribute or to inform you. Honorable Rachel Nyamai, you wanted to contribute?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Because I want to put the question.
Yes, I would like to thank you very much for your indulgence. This is a very important bill, and the proposal that has been, the bill that has just passed, Honorable Speaker, is extremely important. I am aware that the committee has been looking on to amend the same act, I know that it will take time because after being ascended to it, it needs to take about 6 months. But the issue of snake bites, Honorable Speaker, is a big issue that must be discussed now by this House. We have snake bites all over the country, starting with Baringo, Marsabit, Mandera, Kitui has the most poisonous snakes, Honorable Speaker. And we realize that when this amendment was being done, snake bites seems to have been left out. And I remember it was also removed, actually, in the 12th Parliament. So I would like to request the chair of this committee, after the passage of the 6 months, we will be bringing an amendment so that we also consider snake bites, because snake bites are killing too many people. And the ministry was in my constituency about 3 weeks ago, and the issue of snake bites was raised by my constituents, and so many people are calling for inclusion of snake bites in the compensation as part of the compensation we are discussing today. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for your indulgence. I support.
Yeah, Honorable Rachel, you raise a very important issue. My own grandmother, I never saw my paternal grandmother. He died of a snake bite. And so don't wait for 6 months. You can join the committee in pursuing that endeavor. Honorable members, because of other businesses, let me put the question. I have confirmed that we have the requisite quorum in the House for purposes of making a decision. I therefore put the question, which is that the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2023, be now read a third time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act 2013.
Next order.
Order number 15, motion, exemption of major roads, expansion of major roads in the country to dual carriages, resumption of debate.
Is that for resumption of debate? Is it for resumption of debate? But it had been moved and seconded. Honorable Osoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the motion by the Honorable Faith Gitao on the expansion of major roads in the country to dual carriages. Honorable Speaker, the road issue or the road matter is actually a thorn in the flesh of many Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. That when you move around the world, those of us who have had the privilege to travel across the world, you'll agree with me that we are behind schedule in terms of the road network as a country, Honorable Speaker. But of importance, Honorable Speaker, is the proposal or the motion by the Honorable Faith Gitao that seeks, or rather that brings us to the attention of everybody, Honorable Speaker, about the expansion of these major roads. Honorable Speaker, when you look, or if you've had an opportunity to travel or to make your way or to drive or whichever way from Nairobi all the way to Nakuru, then all the way to Kericho, all through to that route, Honorable Speaker, you'll agree with me that over the weekends, that route is extremely busy. Very, very busy. Because unlike the traditional holiday places that have been said before, like Mombasa and, the South Coast, the North Coast and all those places, other Kenyans opt, Honorable Speaker, to drive from Nairobi to Naivasha for what nowadays they call staycation or something, or just a little bit of some holiday, because that is another area that has become a common holiday destination, Honorable Speaker, especially for those who are not able to raise enough money, Honorable Speaker, and even not even enough money. There are very, very good hotels, Honorable Speaker, nowadays in Nakuru, Naivasha area, Honorable Speaker, that people go for holidays, Honorable Speaker. But unfortunately, there is a challenge. You drive all the way from Nairobi, you get to Westlands, but past Limuru, Honorable Speaker, you then now start finding a challenge or getting a challenge of the road network because of so many vehicles, Honorable Speaker, on the way. Because there are so many vehicles on the way in that route. If there is something that we need to think of as a country, is expanding such highways, Honorable Speaker. The roads that go all the way to Malava, the roads that pass through, you know, you go, Honorable Speaker, from Sotik to Kaplong. It's like a road, Honorable Speaker, that was made when the population was hardly, 2 million people in this country or 3 million people in this country. It is really not a road that people should be talking about. And I see Honorable Osero looking at me because that is his home. And he knows very well that there is a challenge between Sotik, Keroka, Kisii, and going all the way, Honorable Speaker, to Sirare. It's really, really a big challenge, Honorable Speaker. And there are so many vehicles on the road. Those roads, the implementers, or rather the people who came up with that structure of such roads, Honorable Speaker, did not envision a time when we will be densely populated as we are and with so many people on the road. And that is why this motion is coming in timely. Look at Mombasa, Honorable Speaker. Not everybody is able to afford a flight to Mombasa. You know, that immediately you get to Makutano at the junction of Machakos towards Mombasa, Honorable Speaker, the road becomes slimmer, and slimmer. And because it was actually made, or it was constructed over 30 or 40 years ago, or even 50 years ago, and not really well maintained. Sometimes, of course, there are potholes on the road. Some irregular bumps have been erected by people because of the accidents that are occur, Honorable Speaker. And we even squeeze ourselves with the trailers when you're driving in those roads. I mean, really, it is about time that we start having this discussion on how we can be able to get to expand these roads to have every major road as a dual carriage, Honorable Speaker. But even as we get to that, then we then need to sit down and ask ourselves this question. Is it then possible for this country, the country's budget, to meet those needs? Is it possible that within the budget that we have, Honorable Speaker, that we have all those roads, made under dual carriage, Honorable Speaker? What then, when you ask yourself this question, then it brings up for this answer that it's about time we also start thinking on how we can engage investors on such structures under the PPP terms. That if the government is not able to construct these roads because of the taxes, the insufficient budget that we have, Honorable Speaker, and of course there's several needs, then it's about time that we start embracing the question of the private-public partnerships across the country. It is the question of time. It is about time that you start thinking about that, right? That if you're doing a road towards Malava from Nairobi, then have an investor construct an 8-lane structure, 8-lane carriage on one side, and 8-lane carriage on the other side, with the exclusion of a free one. Then you do tolling so that you are able to recover your money. So you do 8. If you want to go express to Malava, use the dual carriage. If you do not want to pay for through the toll station, then just a similar thing that happens, of course, Honorable Speaker, to the expressway. Then you are left with that small, slender road, the old one, so that you can use and remain on traffic as you want. So it's about time that we start telling Kenyans and embracing, even as leaders, the question of the PPP. Because it is not tenable through our budget. If we will be waiting for us, for the exchequer to fund the road, to make the road that way, like Thika Superhighway, so that we can have those dual carriages all through the country, it will not be possible. We want to urge Kenyans to start embracing the private-public partnerships. A similar thing that happened, a similar one like the expressway, it's optional for you to get through the expressway to the JKIA, or you use the underpass and go, it's free. and then go to JKA. The difference is that one will save time, the other one will pay at a cost. So those are the things that we need to embrace, because it is timely. Looking at the city planning, looking at the country's planning, we are a little bit behind. I was engaging one of the colleagues, Honorable Speaker, when we visited Zambia the other day. You will notice, Honorable Speaker, that in Lusaka, even the city planning itself has envisioned a time where the country will have a population of 50 million or 60 million, because currently Zambia, although it's double in our size, Honorable Speaker, in terms of the landmass, their population is barely 20 million people. But looking at the city planning, the spaces they've left for those who cycle, the spaces they've left for those people who like walking along the road is very safe. But look at our country, Honorable Speaker. The cyclists, the people, the cyclists are riding their motorbikes and their bicycles just besides the vehicles, and besides those people who are doing jogging every day, and besides, of course, trailers, quite risky. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, we've got so many cases of hit and run. And I can tell you, as a legal practitioner, when I started practicing law, Honorable Speaker, the very first thing I started doing, Honorable Speaker, is going through the morgues, Honorable Speaker, for what we call ambulance chasing. And that's what most people who start practicing do whenever because it is common. People are dying on the road, Honorable Speaker, through hit and run. People are hit daily. And because of the nature of our laws, nowadays when you get a person hit by the roadside, Honorable Speaker, you can hardly stop and pick him, because when you take, even if he's, has some little pass left for him to be saved, you will fear, because when you take them to the hospital, you are asked, okay, so are you the one that hit this person? And the police will be after you. And that is why we are turning to be a country of each person for himself and God for us all. It's quite unfortunate. But generally, Honorable Speaker, it is about time that we start thinking through the PPPs. We start looking for the investors, viable and quality investors, to help us do the dual carriages. They toll to recover their money, but still we leave that lender one, we leave that road, that particular one, to be free of charge, so that you have an option to either toll, use through the toll station and pay, or pass through the normal one. So with that, Honorable Speaker, and this one should actually go deep into the villages, so that it can actually open up the economic channels of this country. With those very many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I am very impressed by the Honorable Faith Gitau's motion, and I suggest that it just doesn't end in these structures of motion. We need to think through the public-private partnership, Honorable Speaker, in terms of, for us to engage, for us to be able to achieve this, because it is not possible to do this through the exchequer. I beg to support, Honorable Speaker, and I thank you very much.
Before we proceed, honorable members, I would like to welcome students seated in the public gallery this morning, students from Kivuthine Secondary School, Kibwezi East Constituency, Makueni County. Let us welcome them to the National Assembly. You are welcome to continue observing the proceedings of the House. The Honorable Ekomas Mutuse, you may proceed, and I would like to request you, I've given you a chance there so that you may also welcome the students from Kibwezi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In welcoming the students from Kivuthine Primary School in Kibwezi East, which is my neighboring constituency, just to urge them and their teachers to, you are welcome to the House of Parliament. This is where decisions in terms of laws, decisions in terms of budgeting, and oversight of expenditures of the national government are taken. This is a house of record, it's a house of order. You are among the privileged few who have had the opportunity to come here, and therefore I congratulate you with your teachers for making to the House of Parliament, and we wish you all the best in your academic journeys, so that in future all of you may grow up to be professionals who this country will look up to in terms of transforming us, and some of you may also become leaders and lead your people at your time. Having said that, Madam Speaker, and I say that on behalf of the Honorable Jess Kambalu, because that is our constituency. Having said that, Madam Speaker, allow me to now comment on the motion for the expansion of major roads in the country to do or carriageways that has been moved by the Honorable Faith Gitau. From the onset, Madam Speaker, this is a motion that is not only timely, but is something that should have been done by the country many, many years ago. Madam Speaker, you are now aware that the World Bank has classified Kenya as the 6th largest economy in Africa. We have now overtaken Ethiopia and Angola, and we are now the 6th largest economy in Africa by virtue of the size of our GDP. That means that our infrastructure needs to reflect the size of our economy. And that infrastructure to reflect the size of our economy, our road systems need to be modernized, our railway systems as well need to be modernized, and so that we reflect a country that is the 6th largest economy in Africa in the 21st century. If you compare our infrastructure with that of South Africa, driving from Cape Town to Pretoria, you realize it's a dual carriage. It's a long distance. Same way from many, many cities in our continent that are smaller economies than us. And therefore, we want to congratulate the Honorable Faith Gitau for reminding us in this House and those in the executive that the time has come for our roads to be dual carriageways. Madam Speaker, I represent a constituency that is on the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway, Kibwezi West constituency. From Kibwezi town through Makindu to Emali is a distance of about 70 kilometers on the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway. And there are many, many accidents. It is the same in Kibwezi East, it is the same in Kilome constituency. There are many, many accidents that are happening because the road is a single carriageway. And we have been expecting, especially with the promise that the Americans want to do an expressway from Nairobi to Mombasa, the one that they have nicknamed Usahihi, that we may have this project come to pass so that we may reduce the number of accidents, because one life lost through a road accident is too many lives for us. We have also heard about plans to do the road from Chumvi through Konza Technopolis all the way to Emali under the funding of the Korea government. And I stand to request the executive to fast track such plans so that my people, the people living along the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway, may stop losing their lives because of avoidable accidents that can be avoided by dualing the Mombasa-Nairobi Highway. As for the funding, everything starts with an idea. And we cannot fear to propose ideas of dualing our roads because we do not have the money. And therefore, I want, as I support this motion, to urge the State Department for Roads to come up with a plan on how we can dual our roads and to engage Parliament so that we may pass the necessary policy and legislative framework to facilitate the dualing of all the roads in the Republic of Kenya so that we may reflect the economy that we are, that we may become attractive even to foreign investment and attract more people to come to our country, because a road network, attractive road network also is important in terms of the image of our country that we give to the people who visit our country. Having said that, Madam Speaker, I beg to support and urge that it doesn't end at mere debate, that the Committee on Implementation will pick it up so that we may have a concrete plan with clear timelines on how this will be achieved. I thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mutuse. The Honorable Naomi Wako, member for Marsabit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to add my contribution to this very important motion brought by Honorable Faith Gitau, one of our very diligent commissioner and a member of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, as I stand, I want to confirm that I support this motion because it touches on one of the most important things that we depend on as a country. Honorable Speaker, the proposal that this House resolves that the government through the Ministry of Roads and Transport undertakes an expansion program of national trunk roads with the view of upgrading all classes A, B, and C roads in the country from two-way lanes to dual carriageway, one-way roads with the necessary infrastructure that include footbridges, safe crossing zones at regular intervals. Honorable Speaker, I fully support this because we know very well as a country, so many innocent lives have been lost. We've lost many people. We've lost even tourists who have been in our country due to road carnage. We've lost our young people, students, going for school trips or maybe going to their schools because of road carnage. And by expanding our road, we are sure that the accidents that keep happening in our country and on the roads will be reduced. Honorable Speaker, even as we propose this, some disciplines must be observed of time and how the drivers, should conduct themselves, and having the driving license and doing all the due diligence will help us and add a lot of value to the suggestion that we are making. And again, Honorable Speaker, expanding our roads will be profitable to our country. Our economy will grow because we know very well that many of our neighboring countries depend on us. And by expanding our roads, then we know that we will be able to grow our economy and we'll be able even to be of use to our neighbors, because Kenya, as it is today, we are at the front line and leading from there. We wouldn't want, to cause chaos and also other people to be in our country and have accidents. Honorable Speaker, we also know very well that road transport is still the preferred mode of travel and transport for many Kenyans, simply because it is affordable. And many of us prefer it because we know that when you're on the road, you are safe enough unless maybe something that you are not aware happens. You know that you will be able to reach your destination safely. But again, if we are not able to manage and to control well, we will continue losing a lot of people. Honorable Speaker, we know that even for the service delivery, we depend on our roads for the service delivery. And these days we have our motorbike, the borders, who support us. And what the motion is supporting is going to help us a lot, because with what she's saying, safe crossing zones at regular intervals, proper drainage system, and other requisite infrastructure for their optimal operation. Even our border people will have their own path to be riding on, and that will be safe, because right now we are mingling and everybody is trying to compete for space on our roads, which is not safe, and again we are not saving time. So that we can save time, we can also be effective, we can also be able to achieve many things as we consider doing different things, then we will be able to manage very well. Honorable Speaker, again, it is the suitable way or suitable means of transport when it comes to short distance, because you cannot fly, you cannot jump over, you have to have proper way of driving and just getting to your destination on time. And this is the only way we can be able to achieve all our goals. It is my prayer that we will be able to do this, so that in our country, we already have a lot of challenges. We have many people, blaming the government for doing different things. We have Kenyans crying because of poor economy. We have challenges because businesses are not doing well. If we can ease the traffic and if we can help our people to have at least safe way of traveling and reaching their destination. People's businesses will pick and we will be able to do a lot. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support and I request the other members also to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Naomi Wako, the Deputy Whip. The Honorable Gideon Ochanda, member for Bondo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there are a number of things that if people and governments are not able to realize and to do, will continue being in many, many, many problems. One of these is the issue of planning and the use of data. Our successive governments are well aware that we have more vehicles on the road each year as years advance. What is it that we are doing, or what is it that we are placing for purposes of this increase of traffic in terms of our road infrastructure? I think there are some very basic things, very, very, very basic, that governments, the successive governments, have not worked towards this. And they are well aware that vehicles are registered every day, the number has been going up, and where we are taking these vehicles to is not developed. It's a similar problem we have, for example, in housing and what we are seeing in Nairobi now. One house or a household is brought down, one building, and instead it is replaced by a massive house of more than 40 households. While you are doing this, you have not planned for sewer, you have not planned for transport, you have not planned for all these many other things. And this is exactly where the messes are coming in. And we also have data in terms of the amount of messes that we have on our roads. We also have the amount of messes that we have even in terms of the other infrastructure because of planning. I don't want to say that the planning has not been bad, but somebody is ignoring, because these are very bare facts, that when you increase in number, definitely there must be a provision. Even if it is water, there must be a provision. Nairobi doesn't have the same people it had 20 years ago. There must be a provision. There must be some forward looking in terms of how some of these things are supposed to be met. And Madam Speaker, even some very basic way of how government raises revenue, we are well aware that if you put aside the formal ways of raising taxes or revenue, transport sector is one of the biggest sectors that helps these governments to raise money. What is it that we are doing when you are very sure that a sector generates for you money? It is the sector again that you ignore. Because if it were any other ordinary mind, you'll invest more where you generate more. And there was a policy in this country one time that you put more where you get more. You put more money where more money comes from. I don't know where this was lost. And a more particular one is where we use planning deliberately for a 5-year cycle. We plan with politics in mind. I think this is where there's a big problem. Because we are talking about these major roads. Some of them cannot be fixed within the 5-year period. But for purposes of planning and investment in them, it is important that we spread them across. Where we are at the moment, we are seeing problems that we would have avoided many years ago. 60 years since independence, we've only managed to do a railway, the SGR, which even as at now is still not in our hands. We've not done any. And yet we know that this would have been the best alternative to the road problems. You look at the colonial government, they were able to do this railway from Mombasa to Uganda in a decade. Yeah? And that was from 1901, 1902, and those are ages ago. Here we are, since independence, we are not even able to do a 1 or so kilometer of even if the old railway system that we were using before, even if we decided to put aside the SGR. I know there are those attempts that are there in place, but many of them are still focusing on doing these things within 5-year period. It can't work. So for purpose of our planning, we needed to know that from Mombasa to Nairobi was to be done in a certain period of time, Nairobi, Busia, or Malaba to be done in a certain period of time, Nairobi, Garissa to be done in a certain period of time, Nairobi, Kisumu, and whatever to be done in a certain period of time. This is exactly what has helped Tanzania. Tanzania has some of the very major bridges across their bigger rivers. But they have been doing those major bridges within, there are now 5, within every term of each parliament, each presidency, each government.
They've been doing very major projects in terms of road network and bridges. They have bigger bridges than those we have if you put aside Nyali. The other bridges are really big because of the big rivers. And this has been happening because it is not tied to electoral period of time. So, Madam Speaker, these are some of the things that really needs to be looked at, so that when we are planning, we plan and we make use of our data. The next one is the issue of quality, Madam Speaker. You do a road, is a highway, and you are doing it like you are doing a village road. I'm bringing this in place, like in my place. We have a road, a Kenha road done from Kisian to Osieko. It's a Kenha road. But if you look at this road, it's a road that cannot withhold the kind of time and the kind of traffic that we have on it, because it was poorly done. More so between Bondo and Osieko is worse. And the maintenance arrangement cannot work. Every single time there's some contractor in place. As at now, the road surface is like it was a small village road. So the quality of works that go into highways also must be looked at, so that we don't go into one road 1 year after the other, you are on one road. 1 year after the other, you are on one road. We fix major roads, we fix them right, we fix them to last for purpose of quality, and then we move on. But if we are doing one road poorly done, and every single day you have to work on issues of maintenance, like this road I'm talking about, there's some contractors in one place or the other every single day, and it doesn't work. Right now it's in horrible condition, and you really wonder why was that money used in doing this road. If it would have been used in a village road rather than a highway. So, Madam Speaker, there are these issues that must be looked at: the issue of planning, the issue of where revenue is raised from, the issue of quality, and the issue of really looking at the alternative. Alternative to roads can only be railways, nothing else. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ochanda. The Honorable Jackson Lekumontare, member for Samburu East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this chance to contribute to this motion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this motion is very good for discussion. And I think, Madam Speaker, these roads, some of these roads, Madam Speaker, they are just there now to waste time. Because, Madam Speaker, if you look at some of our roads, you can be in a road for a very long time. And I think, Madam Speaker, just as other members have said, it is time for expansion. And I think this is a very good discussion, Madam Speaker. And as we discuss, it's very important, Madam Speaker, to be known that some parts of this country, there are no roads, even that single line. And we are discussing about expanding the roads. But other parts of this country, Madam Speaker, like where I represent, Samburu East, there are no roads, Madam Speaker. And I think equity is very important to every part of this country. You find that, Madam Speaker, the road may be serving a population, it is not there. Even getting some services become a problem. And if at all we are in the same country, then it is advisable and it is very important, even for those who implement these projects, to consider every part of this country. It's even better, Madam Speaker, to say every constituency should have at least a tarmac road. But I think some parts of this country, even children are going to see tarmac after 60 years of independence. And it is very important, Madam Speaker, as we talk about expanding the existing roads. The time for this expansion is also an issue. Madam Speaker, if you look at the road passing through Karatina, that road, I usually pass that road. And since I came to this parliament, now this is my second term, the contractors have been there since. Even when I was a teacher, I used to pass there, Madam Speaker, and the contractors are on the site throughout. I don't know when will that road be completed. And I think people are not serious even to do what they are supposed to do. Because for more than 10 years, just trying to expand the road, it is not moving. So it is a good thing to discuss, a good thing to bring this motion. And I think it is important that it should be implemented, Madam Speaker. We lack good roads in this country. And I don't agree, Madam Speaker, when we say the resources are not enough, because they are enough in other places. It is only people are not looking at the whole country in a very fair manner. Some parts will get a lot of money, while others, when we look at other parts, then there is no funds. That is the usual song people are singing every now and then. And I think it is now the high time the government should be able to look at every part and consider it. If the budget is small, then it should be small for everybody. But you can find other places getting a lot of money, but others, no roads throughout. And we are in the same country. So I think it is very good. We really need to look at how maybe we can get funds to try help Kenyans. If you look at even the commodities, the way people are getting even food, commodities in other places, it is very high because of bad roads. When people are saying here Unga has gone, Madam Speaker, in our places, we even don't talk because the road is worsening even what our people are getting. So I think it's a good thing, good to discuss, but very important to note that there are no roads in other places. And I think if we really want to be fair, let us look at every corner of this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support this expansion of roads to every place. Thank you.
Thank you, Member for Samburu East. The Honorable Wilberforce Oundo, Member for Funyula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
And Honorable Professor, you have only 4 minutes. The time for this motion is coming to an
Okay, thank
end.
you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also join my colleagues in supporting the motion by Honorable Faith Gitau on expansion of major roads in the country to dual carriageways. Honorable Speaker, transportation is the key to industrialization, is the key to improving the economy, and its importance cannot be gainsaid. Honorable Speaker, many of our so-called trunk roads, the international roads connect various regions and towns in this country, cannot really be constituted or be considered to be true roads in the true sense in what we see in the other countries. Honorable Speaker, it's such a shame that the road from Kisumu all the way to the border at Busia is literally a track. It cannot be called a road. Yet we pride ourselves that's the road to Great Lake region, to the entire all parts of the East and Central Africa. Honorable Speaker, the same applies to large chunks of the road between Eldoret and Malaba. It's therefore important that, as Honorable Faith has stated, that this country, the planners, all those who are involved, should move with speed and through other means, find ways and means of ensuring that these roads are dual. Honorable Speaker, if you travel many parts of this world, even small countries in Africa, all their major trunk roads are truly dual roads so that they move traffic, move goods fairly fast to where they are supposed to be. But Honorable Speaker, as we concentrate on the roads, allow me also to join Dr. Chanda. In many other parts of the country, actual road supplements transport. We have an untapped opportunity for purposes of railway. We could have moved much more goods, much more passengers, faster, safer, if we had continuously invested in the railway network. The last railway to be built was during the colonial time. The next has been during President Uhuru's time. Surely, honestly speaking, if we could find a way, I had an opportunity to travel in South Korea, a distance of almost 1,000 kilometers with a speed train. You cover much less period of time, and you move much more many people compared to road transport. But unfortunately, for Madam Faith, this is just a mere motion. Implementing or putting into practice motions in this country, if we have such a bad history, we might just end up being a chat show here without much impact or effort. With those few remarks, so that I save time, I support.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The balance of time, 48 minutes, has expired. So this motion, I'm sorry, it comes to an end. I know a few of you had wanted to speak, like the Honorable Dr. Mutunga, the Honorable Dick Maungu, and those two. Sorry, you cannot. I would like now to call upon the mover to reply. Is the mover in the house? I understand that the mover is in another meeting, the Commissioner Faith Kitau. So that will be scheduled at another time by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 16, motion, implementation of the universal health coverage and of a policy on mandatory use of public health care facilities by public officers.
Motion by the Honorable Sabina Chege, nominated member. I would like this to be scheduled at another time. Next order.
Order number 17, motion, formulation of a regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country.
This motion is by the Honorable Marianne Kitani, MP. Let's try to trace the Honorable Marianne because I've just seen her around. Honorable members, I would like to welcome students seated in the Speakers Gallery this morning, students from El Kejuado High School, Kajiado constituency in Kajiado County. You are welcome to the National Assembly to continue observing proceedings of the House. Honorable members, let's welcome them in our usual way. Thank you. Honorable members, in the absence of the Honorable Marianne Kitani, I order that this motion be scheduled at another time by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 18, motion, formulation of land use policy on zoning of land for agriculture and belt development.
Honorable members, this motion motion number 18, formulation of land use policy on zoning by the Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi, MP Westlands. That one is also deferred. Honorable members, I would like to inquire from the Honorable Kitani. Please approach the table. Request the Honorable Sabina Chege, please approach the table. So I request the clerk to call order number 17.
Order number 17, motion, formulation of a regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country.
The Honorable Marianne Kitani, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Motion on artificial intelligence, on regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country. That aware that the world is rapidly embracing artificial intelligence, or AI, which is the use of a digital computer or computer-controlled robots to perform tasks commonly associated with the intelligent beings, and acknowledging that the 2022 Government Artificial Intelligence Readiness Index report ranked Kenya the 5th in Africa and 90th globally in readiness to adopt artificial intelligence, further acknowledging that the Oxford Insight Survey 2022 pegged Kenya's readiness to adopt AI at 40.3%, and appreciating that AI, or artificial intelligence, has brought forth positive benefits that have increased efficiency in different sectors such as healthcare, manufacturing, and robotics, and concerned that the exponential rate at which the artificial intelligence is being embraced in the society without proper regulatory mechanisms has caused various negative consequences, such as rising cases of disinformation and fake news, and noting that there is need to protect Kenyans from potential AI-instigated harms, such as privacy breaches, AI-powered fake technology algorithms, algorithmic discrimination, autonomous weapons, job displacement and economic inequality, social manipulation and misinformation, financial market manipulation, and privacy invasion. Now, therefore, this House urges the government, through the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, to 1, formulate a regulatory framework and ethical guidelines for implementation of artificial intelligence, or AI, in the country, to control its potential use, and 2, develop and execute public awareness programs on artificial intelligence to raise understanding of artificial intelligence, fostering transparency and promoting responsible use of AI for the benefit of all. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
She should have. You need to move the motion. Do you have a seconder?
Okay. I'll ask Honorable Maungo to second. I move the motion that formulation of a regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country, and ask Honorable Maungo to second. Thank you.
proceed to second the motion?
I've been given double mics. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me first and foremost acknowledge that Honorable Marianne has just proposed a very important and significant motion that comes at a time where the country is at a point in time, Madam Speaker, where artificial intelligence is a thing of the day. Madam Speaker, as well captured, regulatory framework may be the most important thing to do at a point like this, because there are several benefits that accrue to the country, several benefits accrue to the citizens and the community at large by using artificial intelligence. Madam Speaker, we have been able to see what artificial intelligence can do, and we live in a society that is a global village, Madam Speaker. And if we don't have regulatory framework within which artificial intelligence will be used, Madam Speaker, members of the public and the country at large is likely to suffer some consequences, Madam Speaker. And therefore, having a framework within which people, the public, can use AI will be the way to go. I therefore second. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Member for Luanda. Honorable members, I now propose a question. That aware that the world is rapidly embracing artificial intelligence, which is the use of digital computer or computer-controlled robots to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. Acknowledging that in 2022, Government Artificial Intelligence Readiness Index report ranked Kenya 5th in Africa and 90th globally in readiness to adopt artificial intelligence. Further acknowledging that Oxford Insights Survey 2022 pegged Kenya's readiness to adopt AI at 40.3%, appreciating that AI has brought forth positive benefits that have increased efficiency in different sectors such as healthcare, manufacturing, and robotics, concerned that exponential rate at which artificial intelligence is being embraced in the society without proper regulation mechanisms has caused various negative consequences, such as rising cases of disinformation and fake news, noting that there is need to protect Kenyans from the potential AI-instigated harm, such as privacy breaches, AI-powered fake technology algorithms, algorithmic discrimination, autonomous weapons, job displacement and economic inequality, social manipulation and misinformation, financial market manipulation, and privacy invasion. Now, therefore, this House urges the government, through the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy to, 1, formulate a regulation framework and ethical guidelines for implementation of artificial intelligence in the country to control its potential misuse, and 2, develop and execute a public awareness program of artificial intelligence to raise understanding of AI, foster transparency, and promote responsible use of AI for the benefit of all. Honorable Gideon Ochanda. The Honorable Karemba, do you have a point of order? Anything out of order, Honorable Karemba?
Not a point of order.
You wanted to contribute?
Yes.
In that case, let me give the first opportunity to the Honorable Gideon Ochanda. Are you interested in this one, or it was the earlier one? Okay, you may proceed.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the world is moving very, very, very fast. And in the study of what we call political science, the animals that move so slowly is the governments. Governments are very slow. They can't move at the speed at which the world is going. And the world is going that route because of it's being driven by individuals and minds that are towards making things easy or easier to be done, easier to be delivered, easier to be understood, and effortlessly making things work. Madam Speaker, if one were to look at this country in the last 20 years only, you looked at how we have moved from the issue of even the telephone alone, when we had these fixed cubes of telephone. In the last 20 years, if you had to do an international call, you had to book, you come to Ex-Telecom here in Nairobi, for you to be booked for a number of weeks before you are connected to US. And these things are not long ago. They are very recent. And we've seen them come and pass. And now, one of the greatest problems that states are to have is the issue of insecurity related to where technology is taking us to. The police, the intelligence, the governments, wherever they are at risk because individuals are ahead of them. Citizens are ahead of them. And that's why there's this outcry, because you are trying to adjust, you are trying to adapt with a speed that you are not able to cope. That's why one day you hear about a person running a completely different parallel press. The government is not aware, the main press is not aware, and the following day it brings issues. So we are slow. Governments are slow. Governments, when it comes to what we call the inertia, they take too long to turn. And by the time they turn, they'll find when individuals are far, far much ahead of them. And that's where we are with technology. So, Madam Speaker, what I'm trying to say is that if our governments are not able, in fact, some of this needs to be clear-cut departments with smart people. Some of these guys that we are chasing outside there needs to be in government. These guys who are running away with the computers and are able to do certain things that are beyond us, that are surprising us, needs to be collected. They need to be somewhere where they need to be working for this government. Otherwise, when we leave them outside there, unregulated, because you can't say something is illegal if it is not in law. Yeah? If it is not in law, it is not illegal. So even if when one commits it, whether it is bad or wrong, there's nowhere you will take them to. And that's exactly where we are in this nation as at now. That we have individuals ahead of this government in terms of IQ, in terms of where they are, in terms of technology. They are ahead. And the best that the government is supposed to do is to collect this guy somewhere. And I think that's what many governments are doing. Collect all these smart brains, have them somewhere, because you know if you leave them, they're going to be ahead of you, and it's going to be a disaster. Number two, Madam Speaker, we are talking about unemployment. The issue of AI is the issue that is to deal with labor problems. Labor. So what is going to happen? I want to give a small example that I've been to a school, a big high school, where there are 8 streams of classes. And this school, compared to other schools, including mine, a school in my constituency that's employing 98 teachers, this school is only employing 18 teachers. And they are working in a manner that one teacher in a small corner of a computer room is able to handle 8 streams or 8 classes at a go. So look at that. If we went that route, what happens to these many teachers that we are training? That's where the contradiction comes in. What happens to these thousands of people that we are training? This government has done very well, particularly in terms of recruitment of teachers. We are above 70,000 people teachers that have been recruited. Those that have not been recruited are still in their thousands. Those that are in colleges are in their thousands. Universities alone are churning not less than 100,000 people or students each year. Funny, Madam Speaker, you know, when I finished the university, my first degree, we were only 2,019 people in the whole country. And this is not long ago. Now we are churning out over 100,000 in 1 year. Where are they going to? So while we look at that in terms of the amount of labor that we are likely to churn out for work, compare that with where we are moving towards the issue of AI, and many are not still looking at this, we are likely to be in crazy situations. That's where there's this thing that I was talking, that Ketan talked about, the issue of awareness. What is it that we need to put forward as governments, as people? Are we able to prepare our people that, no, let them look out? They are likely going to be out of jobs. There will be no jobs for them. Why? Because of AI. AI, why? Because we can't avoid it, is where the world is going to. So we'll be remaining with the bulk of our guys, the bulk of our labor stranded here. And when they're stranded, that's again another problem. So the balancing. You know, our people resisted tea picking machines. I don't know how many are able to remember that. All of a sudden, those machines are picked up and they are working. So what has happened to the people who are doing it, who are picking tea? They are no longer complaining, but it is beneficial to those that invest in the sector. You must reduce the cost. The cost of labor is one of those costs in production that is so high, particularly in most of the countries, and even including ours. The people who also go to work don't go with the attitude that they are working for purposes of making sure that everybody benefits. They go to work in the name of getting money. They don't care what they are doing. It's just a matter of the end month is there, they earn, and they go. So by the end of the day, if a potential employer or any other employer anywhere else realizes that they have alternatives to that labor, they'll definitely pick it. So as a country, as a people, we must be very, very careful moving forward. AI is a must. And if we don't do it, if we don't regulate it, it's going to run ahead of us. It's going to run ahead of the government. People are going to do it. And already they are experimenting. Some countries are delivering, I think, blood and all that with the robots in the country. So what happens if Lamu has robots, Busia has robots, and all of them are in the air, running helter-skelter everywhere else without any regulation, without any kind of commands? So I want to believe, Madam Speaker, this is apt. The motion is apt, and the government must look at it. Even when they look at it in terms of how motions are implementable or not, it gives the government a warning that there's something that must be done. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Muchangi. Please trace him and give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, Karemba is also my name. Should always be very comfortable. Yeah, it is my name. It's an official name. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to rise to support this motion by the Honorable Member for Aldai. And I would say it is a very timely motion, given that the world is moving very fast, matters technology. And there isn't a better time to introduce this conversation in this country than now. AI, Madam Speaker, has great potential and can impact very positively on very many areas. But still, Honorable Speaker, it has great potential for damages. And Honorable Speaker, when it comes to distorting information, AI has enormous potential in doing so. And it should be in our interest to regulate this space, the artificial intelligence space, so that we ensure that information is not distorted, because this country in the past and even in the most recent past has been a victim of distortion of information, which has potential to bring about conflict. So I imagine that this government, our government rather, must move fast and regulate the artificial intelligence space, owing to the fact that artificial intelligence nowadays is even being used in the space of healthcare. It's also being used in the space of manufacturing. It is also being used in the space of education. So how can we, in a world that is moving very fast, be reluctant in regulating this space? So before all Kenyans embrace artificial intelligence, because I believe many Kenyans have already embraced artificial intelligence. So before all, and before all countries embrace it. We need to be among the very first countries in Africa to regulate this space so that we can provide a platform and a space that is regulated for the generations to come. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this motion. Thank you.
The Honorable Stephen Mugaka, Member for West Mugirango.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity for me to contribute to this overdue motion. And I want to thank the Honorable Marian Kitani for this focus, forethought, and for waking up the country to the reality of life now and going forward. Madam Speaker, we all know that technology is the driver of everything at the moment. And AI is the latest entrant into the toolkit in ICT that has made work extremely easy, that has increased efficiency, that has made it possible to improve productivity, but that has also come with equal dangers because technology, like anything good, is a double-edged sword. And as much as it is very helpful and is actually now the driver of serious economies of this country, of this globe, it is also having equal damage. Because when you employ AI in warfare, like is happening elsewhere in the world today, you can see the havoc that is being created by military people who are not at the war front, but are remotely attacking their perceived enemies and causing a lot of harm. Madam Speaker, Kenya has invested heavily in technical training institutes. And we have supplied them with very basic ICT support material. I am urging this country, and this House in particular, to incorporate AI training and AI training infrastructure in all our technical training institutes so that we tool our learners with the latest toolkit in the technological world. Because I'm aware that with AI, the practice of all professions, call it medicine, call it law, call it architecture, has been completely revolutionized. I do remember, Madam Speaker, courtesy of the COVID-19, as a practicing lawyer, we didn't know where we would have gone if our judicial system had not automated, so that we were able to practice law from our houses, practice law from our home, present witnesses from where they are, rather than having to transport them to courts and expose them to COVID-19. And I'm happy that we did those basic steps out of total necessity. Now we are where it is either you embrace AI or you are aged out of whatever market or business that you are in. It is my humble prayer that in the budgets going forward, we must start with a policy framework of how to embrace AI and maximize its utility so that we release a lot of man hours of people traveling on the roads to workplaces, of sitting in the offices waiting for a colleague to bring a key to open so that you access your working material, so that we can release as much labor or man hours as possible to alternative economic employment. In other words, Madam Speaker, I am saying what machine can do, let not man bother to struggle to do, because machines are efficient, impossible to interfere with, incorruptible, and therefore this is the direction this country should go. Looking at the budget we have in the education sector, for instance, Madam Speaker, where we are told that even with that budget, Other children in this country are still learning under trees. We need so much infrastructure, investment in physical infrastructure, that is mortar, and I think going forward, and this is the direction, we do not need to have our children in boarding schools. We do not have to have our children in schools. Children can learn from home so that we can improve parenting and be able to reduce the rate of inclination into criminal conduct of our young persons because of lack of parental care and guidance wherever they are. And I want to plead that our ICT ministry wakes up and draws a policy framework that this House should debate, discuss, approve, and then inculcate, create a very deliberate learning program for all sectors, both private and public sector, so that as a country, we embrace technology, we embrace AI, we exploit the advantages of that AI and be able to be an industrial giant in a very short while. And as we do that, we urge the engineers in this sector to be very candid with the country on the dangers associated with the use of that technology so that we build up firewalls, we build up regulatory mechanisms to ensure that what is so good when used badly does not become extremely destructive. And with that, Madam Speaker, I support and thank the people of West Mogrango all the time for making me their Member of Parliament. And I think, Madam Speaker, I invite you there to confirm that I attend Parliament every other day and make contributions whenever asked to do so. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Actually, when you are speaking, I noticed that you seem to be very happy today. So, and you are also bringing the same happiness to the House, and thank you for your invitation. The Honorable Geoffrey Mulanya, member for Nambale.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the opportunity to speak on this motion. Madam Speaker, as has been said by my colleagues, it is very important that we get a proper regulatory framework to control the use of artificial intelligence in this country. We note that the society is moving very fast. And Madam Speaker, you note that every time we have new children born in society, their minds are racing ahead of even the parents. And this is courtesy of the information technology that's being availed. When you buy a new phone, there are new technology that is being advanced daily. But now the government is not moving at the same pace in this particular space. You note that, Madam Speaker, currently as you speak, the AI is the one being used by most doctors right now in prescribing medicine, which is dangerous. AI is being used in education for teachers who are preparing learning lessons to teach in schools. AI is being even used in the legal fraternity. The other day, I had a complaint from a judge indicating that young advocates are now using AI to prepare submissions to forward in court, whereby they are quoting non-existing laws, non-existing judicial precedents that we rely on in legal, in our courts, so that this can easily mislead a court to arrive at a wrong decision. Because in a legal, in our legal circles, we normally rely heavily on the previous decided case so that we have a sequence. We don't want to have contradictions. But when someone is now coming in, we're using artificial intelligence to prepare submissions, quote non-existing cases, you find out that the judge that is presiding over the case is easily going to be misled. We also have the AI being used by architects drawing houses, which is now becoming very dangerous. Madam Speaker, you note, as it has been said, the lack of regulatory framework is one that has led into all these things happening in our society. It's therefore very important that we formulate regulatory framework and ethical guidelines for implementation of the artificial intelligence in the country to control the potential misuse. We have had cases of fake news appearing in our social media, because we have young intelligence people coming up with the newspaper headlines with screaming news that are fake. But all this information is distorting society, that is a potential risk to a conflict. So, Madam Speaker, I support the motion and say that it is extremely timely. Support Honorable Marianne Keitany and thank her for bringing up this particular motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Member for Nambale. The Honorable Dr. John Mutunga, Member for Tigania West and Chair Agriculture.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to also add my voice to the Honorable Marianne Keitany's motion on the need for regulatory framework in the use of artificial intelligence. Honorable Speaker, in the stage at which we are technologically, Kenya will have no choice other than embrace artificial intelligence. As we speak, Honorable Speaker, we've already embraced anyway in certain sectors, and the process is ongoing. So what is important, and what the Honorable Member is speaking so loudly about, is having a regulatory framework that will basically guide on how to use artificial intelligence in the advent of losses of job, potential losses of job, and the need for further and more intensive and more complicated industrialization, as well as the growth of stage that we are in. Honorable Speaker, we witness in movies, and sometimes in the newscasts, most of the time, we see how artificial intelligence has played a role in especially collecting intelligence from various places, and also for even mapping, geo-mapping of an area, where we use drones, even determining where to spray in agricultural, pest and disease control. Artificial intelligence has become very, very, very important. In modern warfare, drones have been used quite a lot. And I believe one of the advancements that we need today is that artificial intelligence which can enable us to identify the powers of the enemy, the placement and the distribution of the enemy, their world warfare, and the investments in various areas. We have also seen that in the service sector, artificial intelligence has become very, very important. And therefore, it is key that we embrace artificial intelligence as a country. Honorable Speaker, last 2 months, I think it was in April, I happened to participate in a convention on coffee marketing in Houston, in America. And we were amazed by the level at which certain countries have reached in terms of service of the coffee itself, where a robot takes an order from a human being, prepares the coffee, serves the coffee in specific amounts, and basically ensures that payment is done, and makes sure that the combinations are correct. So there is need for us to focus on how do we then embrace artificial intelligence, even as the knowledge permeates across the board. So it's a must that the country must embrace, but embraces in a systematic manner and in a manner that we are able to contain the user. Our Speaker, regulation is important. We need to discern which areas should we actually allow or control, what measures of control should we take when it comes to use of artificial intelligence. It is important for us to also focus on the areas that probably are dangerous to human beings so that we may promote artificial intelligence, especially when it comes to manufacturing. We know for sure that most of the manufacturing sector has embraced artificial intelligence, especially in other countries. And in this country also, we have investments in this particular area. So as we look at how do we invest in this area, what levels of control should we exercise, and how do we manage this? We need a policy. And this policy direction will help us as a country to manage this particular process. Kenya is noted as one of the countries in Africa that has advanced in this. In terms of ICT, Honorable Speaker, we are an advanced country. We are doing a lot. And investment in ICT is a purposed decision of the current government. There is a whole ministry that is looking at the possibilities within the digital divide, how we can exploit the opportunities therein, even to employ our children. Honorable Speaker, when we are looking at these possibilities, let us discern which section, which part of the investment structure should we use artificial intelligence. And Honorable Speaker, we are talking about digitization every year. Every time, every sector is getting through digitization. even as we look at digitization, we may also know that it is not possible for us to control the learners. Research has to go on in various areas of ICT. We have to have our learners trying out options and possibilities. We know in the process of trying out options and possibilities, innovations in this country have been born, and they are born fruits, and they have really created a lot of employment, especially in the M-Pesa, for instance, innovation. There are very many other innovations that have come by. There may be innovations that will also replace the possible job losses. So we need to allow research to continue, but in containment, to the extent that we need to be able to know which area is being focused on and what are the possible findings that we are looking at. Madam Speaker, there's a lot of disinformation, especially in this country, and this disinformation is a lot more propagated through the media and through the social media. Social media has embraced sufficient use of ICT. And that being the case, how can we also use artificial intelligence to enhance verification of the information that goes out? Madam Speaker, as we move on, and even as we look at the court process where the burden of proof must be, must go on through to whatever extent, we are looking at a future where possibilities, there are possibilities that people will say, using drones, we are able to collect this information. But we need to control this particular use of artificial intelligence to the extent that, because we know what we put in is what generates an output. And therefore, we need to be able to control how we use these options, as it were. There are several possibilities that are important for us. First of all, containment of the news and news content. It is very important for us to know what kind of artificial intelligence was used to collect what news, and whether there are possibilities before release of such news. If we do not contain this, then we are likely to be finding ourselves in cases where a proof has not been given and there has been sufficient circulation, which may mislead most of the Kenyans. The other issue is the control of associated onslaughts or the areas where we have embraced artificial intelligence. We need a verification mechanism, Honourable Speaker, whereby we will be able to know exactly how does the use of this technology lead to generation of information that probably can call as credible, reliable, and verifiable. And if the information is not verifiable, Honourable Speaker, we need to have mechanisms that can help us to shun this, to get this information from circulation. When we focus on job losses, Honourable Speaker, artificial intelligence is likely to lead to job losses, yes. We are a country in transition which requires to employ most of our people, and also it can be a possibility that our people can be employed in this particular area. So even as we look at advancement and the use of this particular technology, then we may be looking at how can we use it in tandem with promotion of productivity within the productive sector so that we are also creating more jobs, such that we win off those tasks that are difficult, tasks that are risky, tasks that require a lot more of machinery use, and then we place human beings to those tasks that require a lot of intensive scrutiny. Honourable Speaker, public awareness is very important. In our country, the awareness levels are high, but unfortunately most of the information that circulates around is not necessarily very credible, not verifiable, and not reliable. How can we use this artificial intelligence to ensure that we develop sufficient understanding to our people on how to even cross-check information that they are being given? Honourable Speaker, it is important for us to foster transparency and the responsible use of AI. It is possible for us to do that through a very elaborate policy framework. And that is why I believe this particular bill, this particular motion has come at the right time. We need to distinguish which sectors can embrace artificial intelligence. We need to distinguish which functions within those sectors that can embrace artificial intelligence and to what extent. And we need a mechanism of measuring out to try and exactly establish what level of use are we talking about. So, Honourable Speaker, there is the issue of ethical standards and ethics of information that is transmitted. That needs also to be focused on and can only be achieved through a policy guideline. Honourable Speaker, those very few remarks, I wish to support this particular motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Honourable Cecilia Getit, member for Turkana County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this good motion by my colleague, Honorable Keitany. Madam Speaker, AI, looking at its definition, is that technology of enabling computers perform functions that humans have been performing, including making decisions, computers having ability to see, understand, and translate spoken and written language, analyze data, and all that. Therefore, Madam Speaker, there are ethical concerns that come along with this. If we don't regulate that space, how safe are we in terms of our privacy, in terms of safety of our data, the security, and the potential impact on human autonomy, necessitating responsible governance and regulation, Madam Speaker? The AI has both advantages and disadvantages, Madam Speaker. And of course, in terms of regulating, we need to focus on the disadvantages so that this space is regulated to give us more benefits than disadvantages, Madam Speaker. In Kenya now, our young people are looking for jobs. If AI is embraced fully, 100%, that means our people will lose jobs. And those that want jobs will now have no future of getting jobs, Madam Speaker. So there's need to have a regulation where there is some percentage of AI being embraced, not 100%, to make our people lose jobs, Madam Speaker. Then there's the security risk, Madam Speaker, the cyber attacks. The AI depends on data mostly, the research data. If we don't regulate the space, our data can be at risk. So I think as a country, before embracing this, we really need to have very serious regulations, Madam Speaker, that will address ethical concerns like biases and discrimination, security risks, and then high development and implementation costs, Madam Speaker. This needs very massive and serious investment in terms of infrastructure, research, and all that. So it's not something we can just rush into without really having very serious regulations, Madam Speaker. And then there is the risk of a reliance of the humans now on these computer things, Madam Speaker. I think AI will need to be regulated. If our students will be asked any question in school and then they just access the AI information and data, then it will kill the ability of our students reasoning and really expounding on things, testing their intelligence. They will now be depending on this AI thing. So the AI information needs to be regulated so that there is some amount of information that you can get in these cyber systems and not everything, Madam Speaker. Because if we just let everything run in the AI perspective, I think as a country, we will have the advantages, but the disadvantages will be enormous, Madam Speaker. So I want to thank Honorable colleague who brought this motion. There's need to regulate this before embracing it. There's need to really dig deeper into its advantages, disadvantages, and then now regulate the disadvantages so that the impact will be positive and not negative, Madam Speaker. Thank you. I submit.
The Honorable Joseph Dena, nominated member. Please trace the Honorable Dena from my right.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support my colleague. I call her Maria Antoinette. First, we have, it is good that we cannot stop an idea whose time has come. AI is here now and it has come and it will not stop. That is the idea when mobile phones came
And now we have seen the revolutionaries of the mobile phones. But I will want to state on three things, three aspects of it. First is education. The other day, I think Friday, we were with the Minister of Information in Mazeras for the innovation. And we could be able to see they're already using AI. By 7 o'clock, by 8 o'clock, somebody had made 10,000. So it is about wealth creation. Number two, it's AI now is on health. They can be able to tell your blood sample, everything about you in terms of using the AI, even without your knowledge. That I tend to support the regulation into this. The advantages are there, the time has come, but yet at the same time, we have to put the regulation to guide us. Third thing, it's on security, which is key. We can see now in Iran what is happening in Iran and Israel. Somebody you cannot see, somebody you cannot hear, somebody you cannot even have face. There is no plane. And now everybody is going into drone. Security is a key component in any country. If we cannot be able to regularize the AI policy, then we are going to fall into a big problem. So we come to agriculture. Right now, there are drones that are feeding and able to tell the amount of fertilizer, the amount of acreage production, which will determine the food production of a country. And if we look into these things, they are key components of the future of a country. So I tend to support this motion because it is a key component in our life in which we live in. As much as it's good, but we have to be able to create a framework that we can be able to guide the AI in this country. So, Madam Speaker, I tend to support the motion, and I thank my colleague for bringing it up. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Joseph Cherorot, member for Kipkelion East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this time in order to support the motion brought by the Member of Parliament from Aldai, Marianne. Madam Speaker, this motion actually has, I can say that it has even delayed because of whatever is going on around our country. I want to say that the other day we were talking of analog and even digital. When the computer came in space, Madam Speaker, we know what has gone through and a lot have taken place in this country. I want to say that the regulating or giving out the framework on how to regulate the use of AI, Madam Speaker, is going actually to help us a lot. I know this is an area which has been embraced by our Kenyan youth and mostly all Kenyans. In our homes, Madam Speaker, even in our bedrooms, we have mobile phones. And in most cases, you find out that even some of our youth, or most of them, are aware of what is going on around the world. So having regulating it, Madam Speaker, will help us actually to guide, even though I know the world actually has become a global village, Madam Speaker. And what is going on, we've seen about content creation and a lot of things, which means that AI has taken a transformative shift in this country. Madam Speaker, if we want actually even our ministries to proceed and even to progress, AI actually is the only way that can be embraced. If you see, Madam Speaker, like in health, Madam Speaker, the other day we had to change. We had to shift to SHA from NHIF because NHIF was using actually the analog way. And in the SHA, Madam Speaker, it is digitalized, which means in our ministry, like Ministry of Health, even KRA, using AI can help us even to develop economically, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to say that if we want to also to prosper in our businesses, AI is the only way. Madam Speaker, you find yourself, you are seated in the House, and you do some orders, and within a short time, you do deliveries are dropped in your house just because of AI. So I want to mention that as a person, I'm supporting what actually the Member of Parliament, Honorable Marianne, has brought about this regulation of AI. If we want also to, like what we have mentioned, Madam Speaker, especially in terms of agriculture, there are a lot of things that you cannot use just the common sense that you have, but you have to apply also AI. And also in the cyber security, Madam Speaker, it also helps a lot. So if we can, if whatever is going on around the world, Madam Speaker, like what a colleague has mentioned, the war that is going on now in the Middle East and several other areas, the security, in terms of security, the warfare that is around, like between Israel and Iran, what is going on now is because of the AI, the drones and all that. So, Madam Speaker, I support the motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Patrick Ntwiga, member for Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, from the onset, I stand to support this Ebola business. And I would wish to say the following one. Madam Speaker, when we discuss AI, we are not discussing Kenya as secluded from the rest of the world. So if we continue saying as a country that we want to avoid AI to protect the jobs of our children, we need to know that it's not us who will use AI. AI will be used by the same children. And the rest of the world won't prevent the rest of the world from evolving in AI because Kenya is not prepared. So our lack of preparedness does not tell what the world will do. So, Madam Chair, we really need a regulation because we have a young generation. I like what one of our colleagues from the Ugandan parliament said, that being born in Kenya, it's like being in Form 6 in Uganda. We have a generation that is so quick to learn. Yesterday, I looked at and I wish first to say sorry for what happened yesterday about that man who was shot. And within, we not even know tell you who, because within that minute, they had created so many faces. They will say, is this one who has been shot? There's this one who has been shot. He is from here. So we had like 10 or 20 people, images that had already been created online on who had been shot, which can really bring chaos and confusion. About the policeman who did what, we had almost a face immediately, after 2 minutes, another one. So we really need a regulation because you can't control that. We can't say now that will prevent young people from using AI or artificial intelligence because it's the next frontier of development in the world. So we can't close ourselves inside the country and be afraid of what is coming because AI is here with us. And the most important thing as a country is to be prepared. And the best preparedness for this house, as a house that makes laws, is to have a law that will guide artificial intelligence and its use in the country. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Kainan, member for
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Eldas.
I don't know why I left my card.
Yeah, it's unusual.
I hardly forget.
And you know that because of the length of time you have been in this house, we have to indulge you.
So
Please proceed.
It's a very, very rare thing. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this motion is timely. I want to thank the Honorable Marianne Keitany. You know, she's a distinguished member of this house. People know her as a first-timer.
I don't know whether you'll...
Yes, I'm saying people know her.
Bent over because of your height, I think.
People know her as a first-timer, but she's an all-round, efficient, highly mobilized, former chief of staff. And I'm sure the people of Aldai will not regret in having her as a member of parliament. But that does not mean I have in any way trying to influence how the people of Aldai are likely to think of her and behave. Having said this motion is timely. And it's one of the things that we must think out of the box as a country. Madam Speaker, Kenya is a very responsible member of the global village. Let me call the global village. And equally, Kenya is a very resourceful, committed member of the African continent. And Madam Speaker, Kenya is a country of very diverse population. One of the things that we must pride in, recently we were voted as the best in human resource capital by the UN. Madam Speaker, that tag is so important, not only to our diaspora community, but it takes our education system to another level. Madam Speaker, this is why, notwithstanding the different provisions in the current progressive constitution, we must also think out of the box. How do we think out of the box? The right to privacy, the right to associate with whoever you want, the right of your neighbor, the right to you as an individual is all enshrined in the Constitution. Madam Speaker, John McCarthy, who is considered as the father of AI, participated in something called the Dartmouth workshop in 1956. You can imagine where the world was at that particular time. And what he thought of in that particular conference is what is now making everybody sleepless. Madam Speaker, as a country, you can see there is a serious change of guard. I like the way it's organized. It's really organized. I'm sure that is one thing that other institutions should also emulate. Well structured. Madam Speaker, those who invented the use of computers were not competing with Almighty. Almighty God has created the human beings, the animal beings, and the angels. In my religion, the human being has been given two distinctive abilities. The right to think, that is why God says, God gives you an opportunity to discern what is good and what is right. And you as an individual, you are in a position to either go astray and follow the wrong or follow the right. And one of the things that mankind has done is to be innovative enough, to be creative enough, and use computer. Madam Speaker, what this bill, and I get this, what this motion attempts to do is to, first of all, to acknowledge that we are in the era of AI. This is the first thing. The second thing that this motion attempts to acknowledge is that there is need to have a friendly, institutional-driven framework that will allow the user of the AI not to infringe on the rights of others. And this is why all of us are believers in our Constitution. We accept that we have a Constitution. And that is our supreme law in the Republic of Kenya. Within that Constitution, people are allowed the right to belong to the religion of your choice, the right to associate with whoever you want, as long as you don't infringe the rights of the other person. So what this motion is trying to do is, first of all, to create public awareness. Are Kenyans aware of the AI presence in their midst? Are Kenyans aware of the use, both the advantages and the disadvantages of AI? Mr. Speaker, in the current modern day Kenya, Mr. Speaker, the use of AI has greatly, the unregulated use, let me say this, of AI has greatly caused public disturbances, Mr. Speaker, serious security challenges, and Mr. Speaker, to some extent, an infringement on our sovereign rights as a citizen and as a country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while we accept that AI must foster an efficient, effective use of computers instead of manual application by mind, we must also be prepared as a country that certain shortcuts in the use of AI and what we have seen recently can greatly endanger the lives and properties of the people of Kenya. And Mr. Speaker, therefore, the different types of AIs, one can be reactive, one can use a limited memory of the computer, another one can also apply the theory of mind and play with the mindset of different people. And Mr. Speaker, you can also use something called the self-awareness. That's why you see different images. Some will not even understand. People of my age will not understand. But the youngsters understand and they have their own way of doing things. Mr. Speaker, it's because of this that we must be prepared as a country, as a citizen, Mr. Speaker, to use AI efficiently, reduce operational costs, use it to interpret data, but we must also be prepared that this use, first of all, is going to cause serious loss of jobs. It's also going to contribute to the violation of individual rights, privacy. And you have seen it all being applied. Look at the headlines. Just open your social media accounts and you see the kind of thing that goes on. To the extent that some of the media, the youngsters, also use their social media accounts actually to manipulate certain realities, to suit certain circumstances, which may not be in the national interest, which may not be even in their long-term interest, Mr. Speaker. There is also an abuse of algorithm in the application of this. You can see certain shortcuts are taken, Mr. Speaker. It's also very difficult because you can see countries that have plunged in civil war, Mr. Speaker, or some of the events, global events that are happening right now. If you follow the social media accounts, like the world is coming to an end. We are almost on the verge of a third world war. That Kenya is beginning to end. And there is going to be a civil war, and we don't have the institutions. So what this motion, and I hope my good friend Mary will take this to the next level and have, I know you'll be criticized, but those will be positive criticisms. You will be remembered later on. That's why I said we must think out of the box. Please translate this, take this to the next level, have it as a bill that allow the public to participate, and ultimately we'll come up with a bill that meets the test of time, a bill that meets the sovereign interest of the people of Kenya, a bill that will protect the rights of any individual, and a bill that will ultimately contribute to the development of this great republic. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this, very progressive. Please don't get tired. Go on, bring the bill as soon as possible. I support.
The MP for Taita Taveta, followed by the Honorable Geoffrey Odanga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also giving me a chance to contribute briefly on this motion. And I want to begin by congratulating my colleague, Marianne, for bringing this motion on matters artificial intelligence. And Mr. Speaker, from the onset, I want to say that the world is revolving and it continues to evolve. And truly, AI is an idea that time has come and there's nothing we can do about it. We have to embrace it. And Mr. Speaker, it has its own benefits and challenges. And already it is in practice. So, Mr. Speaker, the only way that we can enjoy or benefit from AI is to regulate it. We have to control so that we benefit from it. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that a lot is being done by AI, like so many things. You get surprised at times you go for shopping and Mr. Speaker, you have your Visa card in the pocket and you just get close to the counter and tap it and everything is sorted. You know, money is removed from your card and you've already settled your bills. And that is the work of AI. At times you pay for parking and when you're driving your car, before you get to the gate, the gates are opening. All that is AI. And many things. So before it gets to matters security and many things, on the wrong side, Mr. Speaker, I agree
it is time we regulate it as quick as possible so that we get to enjoy it. So I congratulate my colleague and I support this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Jeffrey Odanga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also add my voice to those who are supporting the artificial intelligence and thank the sponsor of the motion, Honorable Marianne. I want to say, Madam Speaker, Honorable Speaker, that first of all, let me note that artificial intelligence is very dangerous. It is very dangerous if it is left to run and control itself. And we have seen this, like when we have had WhatsApp and FB and so on, we are seeing people abusing the opportunity to use the social media. So we need to take up this very quickly and fast enough so that it is regulated and controlled. The truth is that AI has already taken the world by storm. It is existing. We are already using it. If we don't control it, it's going to damage and even threaten, like the education system in terms of research, those who do research at masters, at PhD, and for other purposes. This is going to threaten innovation and creativity in our educational institutions. It is also going to be very dangerous in the areas of security and so on. So there is a very, very important need to have it regulated and controlled. Honorable Speaker, I support.
The Honorable Member for Turkana North, Paul Ekwam. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this motion by Honorable Marianne. Mr. Speaker, whereas we celebrate AI, it's come with serious challenges. Serious challenges, and especially with the young people in this country. If it's not going to be regulated, Mr. Speaker, it is going to, one, spoil our generations, two, create very serious issues in this country. We have so many experiences, Mr. Speaker, and so this motion that intend to allow the ministry concerned to regulate and put framework that will guide use of the AI and also create public awareness to our communities has come at a good time. Mr. Speaker, besides that, I would want to also urge that we need to have infrastructure that will also support use and, regulating the information that goes to the public. We also need to benchmark with many other countries, especially in the West, that have had this AI for a long time, so that, as we celebrate the benefits of AI, we also have it used well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Is the MP for Samburu East in the House? Under the circumstances, given the fact that I don't see any other member who intends. Honorable Sani, the MP for Wajir North.
Thank you, sir.
Proceed. The mic is there. Give him the mic, for God's sake. Sene, what did you do to the mic? It was on until you started. You messed. Go to another one. Go to another one. Where else? Where can you get a mic? Oh, yes. Fair enough. No, come right in front there. Yes. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Artificial intelligence is a new thing. And I'm sure in as much as it is good, we are in a time when everything has to go digital. I'm brought up at a time when things were analog, and we must appreciate the changing times and trends. I know its importance is so immense in terms of decision making, automating tasks, trying to analyze vast data that we cannot do it mechanically, improving efficiency, bringing the best out of customer experience. We can't enumerate the importance of artificial intelligence. However, Mr. Speaker, we are going to a time when we are nearly phasing out the human species. We are becoming robots. We will lose our uniqueness, our originality, that which makes us different from all other creatures. We have been endowed with natural intellect. If everything becomes at our fingertips, we will lose that innate endowment, the intelligence. I think in as much as it is a must that we must accommodate artificial intelligence, it must be done with caution. Actually, we are at a time even the National Examination Council is facing serious challenges in terms of genuineness. A's and B's that used to be rare during our times have become a common grade, yet they can't showcase, they can't justify their grades. That is sufficient to say that we are trying to copy-paste. You ask the artificial intelligence, any gadget, how is this? You pose questions, and it gives you all the raft of answers, and we copy-paste. That is the kind of generation we are looking forward to. If it is good, I think it's good for the military, at most. Like what's happening between between Israel and Iran. But for a normal life, in as much as I am reluctantly accepting this. Yes, it is good, but we will diminish as human beings. We will be, it's like another GMO of a human being, not a natural thing. So I reluctantly accept, let us accommodate it, but with a lot of caution. I support. Thank you.
There being no more member willing to weigh on this, I'll call upon the mover to reply. Madam Mary Ann Keitani.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first I want to thank all my colleagues who have contributed to this particular motion on a regulatory framework to regulate the artificial intelligence sector of our industry. Honorable Speaker, I think as I mentioned when I was moving the motion, Kenya in 2022 was ranked the 5th in Africa and 90th globally in readiness to adopt artificial intelligence. That is in 2022. In 2025, I believe we have moved far notch higher in both in Africa and in the world. And without regulation and without a framework within which we can now work on to ensure that any artificial intelligence use and readiness is adopted in a regulated framework, then it becomes dangerous for us, especially in the age and era where we are dealing with fake news, in the age and era where we are dealing with economic inequalities and displacements and misinformation that has become a norm of the day. In, again, the same 2022, the Oxford Insights survey pegged Kenya's readiness for AI at 40.3%. I think if today the index is done, we could actually far be above 60% in terms of readiness. And therefore, this regulation couldn't come at a better time. It couldn't be thought through at a better time so that Kenyans and the world at large can be able to appreciate and be able to take advantage of artificial intelligence. I remember, Honorable Speaker, when computers first came into the world and when they finally came into being used around 1956 to about 1980, many people used to see many big machines called mainframes. But today, the computer is as tiny as it's a very tiny thing, and we cannot survive today without computers. Artificial intelligence is quickly and very fast taking shape and taking root in a lot of the activities we do. We travel a lot, and I think a quick example of one of the places artificial intelligence is properly used is, for example, at airports. When you are moving from one terminal to the other, you have a train that is driverless, moving you from one terminal to the other. That is artificial intelligence at play. And we are trusting that train to be able to take you to the other terminal without thinking that, oh, there is no driver inside this train. And so many other technologies. Medicine, today you don't have to go or travel long distances to get very good medical attention. Within the comfort of your home, your country, you can be able to get access to the best doctors, the best medication through artificial intelligence. I can't mention all sectors because every sector of our economy and every sector of our lives is actually now being taken over by artificial intelligence. And we need to appreciate that as a country, as Kenya, we cannot be left behind. We cannot close ourselves out of artificial intelligence. We must be with it, and we must be with the society, and we must move on. And for us to do that, so that it is not misused, I think the formulation of this framework or regulation is very important in this sector. So, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Fair enough. Question will be put at an appropriate time in the future. For now, I'm calling for the next order.
Order number 18. Order number 18, motion, formulation of a land use policy on zoning of land for agriculture and built development.
The Honorable Tim Wanyonyi is in the House to move this motion? No? Okay, I defer this motion to another date when Honorable Tim Wanyonyi is going to be around to move his motion. Next order.
Order number 19, formulation of a reward scheme for accomplishments by sports persons in international competitions.
Where is the Honorable Charles Ngusia to move this motion, private member's motion? He's not in the House? Fair enough. I direct that this motion be put on the order paper on an appropriate Wednesday when the Honorable Ngusia can move this private member's motion. Next order.
Order number 20, motion, allocation of help funds to support students enrolled at the Kenya Medical Training College.
The Honorable Shuria was around this morning. He's not in the House now? I'm sure he assumed that these other motions were going to take the time up to 1 o'clock. Under the circumstances, there being nobody to move, Shuria is not moving and he has not delegated that authority to somebody else to move on his behalf. I direct that this motion be put on the order paper at an appropriate date in the future. Next order.
Order number 21, the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 37 of 2023, second reading.
The co-sponsor, Honorable Wamboka. The Honorable Wamboka. Fair enough. Honorable Wamboka is not in the House to move this bill. Under the circumstances, I direct that this be put on the order paper at an appropriate date in the future. Next order.
Order number 22, the Breastfeeding Mothers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2024, second reading.
The Honorable Sabina Chege to move this second reading of this motion, of this bill. Honorable Chege Sabina, MP for Moranga, is it? No, nominated member of parliament. She is not in the House. I direct that this be put on the order, this bill to be put on the order paper at an appropriate date in the future. Next order.
Order number 23, the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, second reading.
The Honorable Timothy Toroitich. Honorable Timothy Toroitich is not in the House to move this bill as a co-sponsor of the bill itself. Now, I direct that this bill be put on the order paper at an appropriate date in the future when the honorable member will be in a position to move it, to move the second reading. Honorable members, under the circumstances, there being no any other matter on the order paper, honorable members, the time being 12:30, 12:31 actually to be precise, p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, the 18th of June, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.